Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. That's right, another drive time video for you. What in the world is going on? Mashinksy actually got a chance to speak on the Twitter Spaces and decided to speak. Not his best hour, in my humble opinion. Not his best hour. Let me preface this by saying that I've been a Celsius for a long, long time. I have also been an ambassador for Celsius Network, having done multiple videos and multiple live streams about the promise of that platform and what it offered, and what it offered us as average retail investors. I have done a lot of things to bring people to whether they become ambassadors or whether they become employees of Celsius. Anyone who follows this channel knows that I have been a fan of Mashinksy and that platform. But I say all that to say this: there's a thing in my experience, is something called the CEO God complex, and this is what I believe happened to Alex, because I've seen it happen personally. Myself, I've been involved personally with CEOs that have had this and had this happen to them. So, and I do believe 1,000% this is what's going on here. And I think that the ultimate mistake was never Mashinksy waking up and saying, "I'm going to cause harm to depositors." I think the ultimate mistake was when the reality of the whole sunk in. He decided to take the God complex route, the CEO God complex route, and not take the route of trusting and coming clean with depositors and saying, this is the situation, we have a solution, we have answers. One of those solutions is the Chapter 11, and then move forward with that and trusting in the community, because then moving forward with the honesty, you can have the community behind you. The mistake, in my opinion, was trying to fix it on the inside without relying on the faith and trust of the community. And now it doesn't happen. It absolutely does not happen. And who knows if he would have come clean about the whole, prior to maybe the Chapter 11 would eventually have to happen anyway, but if he would have come clean, I just think that it would have more support. He would be able to probably, I don't know, be able to communicate even more, which is one of the biggest things that people are very, very frustrated with, is the lack of communication. And then now come on, and which is basically, some might argue, the 12th hour to come on to the Twitter Spaces. It just was not his best hour. It was the classic display of the CEO God complex. Classic display. Just like, in my opinion, the leaked audio of the internal meeting. Well, leaked. Whether it was intentional or not, it was a leaked audio. Not the best moment. Not. So, in any case, that's kind of where I stand with that. Again, I was an ambassador for the Celsius platform. I hope you understand that when I say what I say. This whole thing with the LBRY, SEC versus LBRY, and not getting the ruling that we thought we were going to get on Friday, says to me, it's like 1 and 1A. Here's the 1. Judge needs some more time to kind of figure this out, because if the SEC has the gonads to say, I don't care if it was half a person, if half a person out of 100,000 people bought it because of the appreciation, then it's a security. I think the judge is weighing over that if. And I think the judge is thinking to himself, how does the SEC know if 99.5% of the people are in fact using it as a utility, the LBC token? How does the SEC know what the intent is for one person? And if the SEC is phrasing it, if one person is using it or bought it for the anticipation of profit, it's still an if. How does the SEC know? That's why the experts in the SEC versus Ripple case is so important. How can you prove the intention? Now, I get it. If there was no use case in projects, if there was no real world use case of the digital asset XRP, which the SEC knows is just the dumbest thing ever, they know that there is world-class, world international use of the asset itself, XRP. The asset itself is being used. They know it. So how can you say if anticipation problem? Gary Gensler has lost his mind. All the lawyers, all the law schools, and all the SEC, all the securities lawyers know that this is the broadest overreach of interpretation of securities laws that has ever taken place. So 1A to the SEC versus LBRY case is there's a settlement being talked about. The SEC, like they tend to do, waited until the very last second and reached out about settlement and then told the judge we're in communications for a settlement. That, I think, is the more likely scenario. I know the judge has been struggling with this one, but I think he's come to, taking the common sense route and says, look, if it's being used, it's being used. Right? So I do think that. I really do think that. So I think it's the settlement thing. I think that SEC again in the last minute or the last hour reached out, and then LBRY said, sure, settlements is good, and went that route. I just think it's interesting. I think what's more fascinating is whether LBRY is willing to do a settlement. Certainly don't have the dollars to continue to fight. Certainly don't. I wish that they did, but they don't, because I think they have a really, really good case. But I think the settlement is being talked about between LBRY and the SEC. I really, really do. I think that is what is going on there. We shall soon see. Alex Mashinksy showed up in Twitter Spaces. Fascinating. In fact, he talked for about 5 minutes and he just got off. So he probably snuck on a Twitter Spaces. When I mean sneak, right? He probably did it, while his team of attorneys were out to lunch and dinner. Snuck on and then got busted and got off, right? But I do feel for him because I know he wants to speak. But when he speaks, he's coming from the God complex mentality, without question. The idea of an L, knowing the idea of a loss, knowing that you woke up every morning with great intentions, good intentions, and it went awry. It turned bad for whatever the circumstances. For whatever it is. The circumstances being justified or not doesn't matter. It has happened. And it's a tough L to swallow. To go from the largest holder of Bitcoin and Ethereum in the world, especially Bitcoin, to now this is you know how difficult that is for a CEO that has numerous unicorns. You know how difficult that is to take that, and that's getting in the way, in my humble opinion. And I believe Simon Dixon is right. The greatest hurdle moving forward is going to be regulators, and I know for a fact that the Texas state regulator boards are one of them. In it, there's optimism and there's hope, and there's the reality of the situation. And you gotta always be quiet for those that just kind of quiet in the background. Celsius coming together and coming out of it with current management, not possible. Not, in my humble opinion, zero chance. Zero chance of that. Celsius coming together with new management, less than 20%. I'm talking about that Celsius name. Now, a reorg of a new co and new management, I give that a 50-50 chance. I do think that. Now, I think ultimately, loans is going to get bought up by someone, custody is going to get bought up by someone, but it's just going to take the CEO and the God complex to subside and accept the reality of the situation. That's what I believe. I put up the fight, cool, but that's what I believe ultimately is going to happen. So guys, do me a favor. This has been your XRP Ripple Drive Time News. If it's been of value to you, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and hit the like button, please. It let YouTube know that, hey, this was a good one. You should let more people see it. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to end this Drive Time video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys that old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I are already winning. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya.